What's up, everybody? It is your favorite I'm Fully Gaming. This is something that you guys have been seeing on my channel. Compiling all different types of recordings that I had for this video. The one that I talked about in the honorable mentions. Now, why did I not upload until, I don't know, every day up until Halloween? Well, this honorable mentions video, I wanted it to be special. And in that way, I mean, talking about all these different movies in their own different categories. Like, I've got pages upon pages of movies that I would really want to tell you guys, or at least to talk to you guys about, that are just so good. I think it's just going to be something really good for you guys. So we're going to start off with Sunday, day 27. And that category being flicks. Right now, we're going to start off with Shaun of the Dead. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this one. I just loved it. It was funny. It was this British movie with Simon Pegg and this other guy. You guys know Simon Pegg is the guy who did movies like Mission Impossible, but he did a bunch of voice acting roles too. He also played Huey's dad in The Boys. He also played Huey in that animated they did for Prime. But it's just a really funny zombie movie that also takes a lot of inspiration from the original Dawn of the Dead, which Night of the Living Dead. I apologize, guys. There's just so many of them that I can't remember which one I'm talking about. But like I said, the Shaun of the Dead takes a lot of inspiration from the Night of the Living Dead, such as they have Repeater, the exact same name as one of the characters. They even use the same layout and name of the bar for their own little segment of the bar. And it's just so funny because they know how funny and stupid a zombie apocalypse would be and how easy it is to just overcome it. Especially since they have the slow moving zombies, but the ones that are really dangerous, so they crowd you. That's all I got for Shaun of the Dead. Number 2 is going on to 28 Days Later. Another British movie. I know there's a little bit of a theme, and I apologize for that. But I'm just saying, I love this movie. My family hates it. I don't know how they hate it, but they think it's just so slow, and I think it just fits beautifully with this zombie apocalypse movie. Or at least I don't even think it is zombie, because they have the thing called the rage virus. People are still alive, I guess, but they're just rabid, like a rabid dog. I just love this movie so much because it really shows how I don't know, I'm stuttering, I'm stammering because I don't understand what I can even say. This movie was so good. It fit the beautiful scenery of just if there was an apocalypse and in the first time society fell. This is what it would look like. So the streets that wasn't dead or alive. So good, especially when they did have the remaining paranoid and secluded. It was just so good. It kind of reminded me of that what's it called? Project Zombie. That's exactly what it reminded me, except it wasn't top down and seeing everybody else. And it was just such a good movie. But unfortunately, you cannot watch this movie anywhere unless you own the actual physical copy. And I think that is just the dumbest, most horrible thing that's ever come out of the 21st century, of just completely forgetting about this absolute classic film. But that's that. I could go on an entire video on why 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and the soon-to-be created 28 years later would be just the greatest thing ever. And I'm not going to do that because that would take an important amount of time. On to number 3 is Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. My sister loves the movie, so as a shout out to her, gonna have to go and say this was a pretty fun movie. I like how Johnny Depp was in it and how he was not that bad of an actor for this movie. Like you can actually feel how he was very animated when he was doing this role. Like, he was speaking, it sounded like it wasn't just some guy going, "Oh, it's a kitty cat. Oh no, there's a dead guy." No, it wasn't like that. It was like he was actually saying, he even threw an accent on, which was pretty good. And that's why I think Johnny Depp's a great character. I can't even remember the other people who were in there, but I only remember him because he was in like 30 different things with Tim Burton at the exact same time. But I just think that Corpse Bride was a fun movie. I loved how it looked so good. It came out like 2012, I think, and it was just a fun little thing. And I know I'm gonna get shot in the chest for saying this, but I actually prefer the Corpse Bride to Coraline. I said it. You guys can hate me for all you want, but I found this movie fun, and I think it's also better than Nightmare Before Christmas. And no, Nightmare Before Christmas is not on here because I think it is a Christmas movie, hence the title, Nightmare Before Christmas. And if you have something to say about it, don't even bother because I won't read the comments. So, on to number 4, Army of the Dead. Now, this one was a bit of a toss-up because I don't know if you guys seen this. It's a Netflix exclusive, and it's a zombie apocalypse movie that takes place in Las Vegas. Except the apocalypse already happened, and they just have these guys contained. But I liked it. It was pretty fun. I mean, it's got Dave Bautista, the world-renowned wrestler for WWE, who's now retired, and an actor who I think is also retiring from acting. I could be very wrong on that, but I'm just saying, it was a fun movie. It had great visuals. It was directed by Zack Snyder. I will say a lot of people did not like this movie, but it wasn't that bad to just completely overlook it, or at least like also overhype it. It was a movie. That's all I could say. Number 5 is Overlord. This one was also another toss up because it's a war movie, but it's got zombies. Uh-oh. Nazi zombies? Maybe. But actually they're more experiments from them, as always. But I don't know. It was really fun because you got to see the horrors of war as well, and how these like horrible German troops were treating this poor French town that was also like working in this bunker area for the nastiest, like torturous kind of experiment, I guess. But what they would do is they'd put people in like these tar sacks and they'd inject them with all sorts of window cleaner or whatever, and it'd just make them go zombie, get their freak on and start chomping people. But it was pretty fun. I mean, they have great use of gore in that movie. Um, the setting was also great. I also like the acting. It was really good. I can't remember who acted in that movie, but it was worth watching. I think you can watch this on Hulu or Paramount. Probably not Paramount, probably on Prime, but it's on one of those apps. I do know that for a fact. I couldn't find it on Plex or Tubi, but then again I did not look that hard. So, if you have those, feel free to look there. Number 6 is an Australian zombie horror movie called Cargo. I really did not expect much from this movie, but when I saw it, it was really good. I mean, they use Aboriginals, and for those who don't know what that is, mainly everybody else who's never heard of them, Aboriginals are the Native American equivalent to um, natives for Australia. So, like, what these people do is they've lived on the land forever, so of course they survive the apocalypse. So when there's this one guy who comes in, he has to help transfer his son or daughter. I can't remember, but they're like a little baby, and he's trying to find them somewhere safe. And he ends up stumbling upon this little Aboriginal child. So what they do is they help him, and is able to like take him somewhere safe, and he just like keeps him out of harm's way. And the way he does it is really cool because like he adapts to like him being zombified over time. Because like the way they have this thing is like if you're bitten, you like it's a slow, very slow infection. I think he like turns over the course of like a week. But like the way he starts turning is like yellow goo starts seeping out of his face and it like covers his eyes and like comes out of his ears. So like it blinds him and makes him go deaf. But the only thing that really works is his nose and mouth. And it's so gross, but it's so interesting on how they chose to do this. I won't spoil the ending because that would just be ruining my honorable mentions. But number 7 is Cooties. This one was kind of gross when I first watched it because of the intro scene. For those who have seen it, probably know what I'm talking about. But it was a fun movie. I mean, it's got Elijah Wood, the guy who plays Frodo Baggins. Um, I can't remember anybody else. I saw this movie quite a while ago, and I only remembered it when I watched a Dead Meat video. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that movie. But it was a fun movie. It had comedy. It also had children getting hit hard with their everything. But you know, it's a zombie movie. Kind of gross on how they start the apocalypse. But if anybody can sit through it, I'm sure you guys got this in the bag. Number 8, also gonna say this, I didn't like that much, but hear me out. Don't click off the video. We're just right at the end. What I'm talking about today is I Am Legend. Now, there's two versions of this movie, and I recommend you watch them both. The first one, I think, was the theatrical cut, and it has a different ending to the movie where it's either he dies. Oh, wait. That's all I'm going to say. I can't remember. This is all fuzz. Everything I'm saying is wrong. Do not understand what I'm saying. I swear I did not spoil one of the endings. But there's two endings to the movie depending on which one you get. The theatrical version, I believe, has a couple more scenes, and the home version the theatrical version cuts some scenes, but the home version extends it by an extra 20 minutes. And I just think they were both really good. And the thing is, they don't explain which one is the true ending. And I think that should be good because when you have two endings, you don't want one just to be oh yeah, this is really how it's supposed to go. It's no, leave it up to debate. If you think that person deserves to live or die, I think you should be up to that. Because if you don't like that guy, what's the point of watching him survive the apocalypse if you don't think he deserves it? But that's all of my choice picks for the zombie film category that I at least could just fit in this however long video this ends up becoming. I could have gone much, much longer, but I still have to film a few more days and edit, or at least up until Halloween. But it's still going to be a very hefty upload, which would be unfortunate for my computer. But this is YouTube. You guys are the audience that I service, so it's perfectly fine with me. I just want to do something that can kind of make up for this gap that you're going to see. But right now, I'm going to end this portion off, and you're going to go into the second part, day 28, which is Monday, where I will be talking about found footage movies. So, right now. Continuing from the 27th, today is the 28th, where we are going to be talking about found footage for our next honorable mentions category. We're starting off with The Taking of Deborah Logan. This movie has, or at least it follows an old hag, or I wouldn't say old hag, that feels a bit brutal and rude. It's a lady who has dementia and Alzheimer's, or whichever mental disease, I can't remember which one they said, but they follow her throughout this horrible, sad progression, and we just see how it takes over her life, but it also seems like she's got some supernatural presence going on with her. So, I mean, it was kind of sad, I guess. I mean, my grandma, she got dementia, so it's not to this extent of awe. I mean, my grandma, she's cool and all because she's got a set diet to help with her brain functions, but with this movie adaptation version of Alzheimer's and dementia, it's crazy because they have to keep it interesting. Other than actually using the real symptoms of dementia and stuff, you'd feel really sad and depressed and man, why did I choose to watch this today? But this movie is fun. I recommend watching it. Number 2, we're going on with the VHS series. Now, there's 8 of them. They all see, the only reason I recommend them is because it's a collection of short films brought into one, but they all have the same category / subject that points towards what they're gonna do. They have one where it's this military guy is using vampires as little suicide bombers. Yeah. But it's an interesting thing. There is one of them, VHS 7, Uh, just skip that one. That one actually almost made me vomit. But it's a lot. It's a lot of great things. There's some really good up and coming actors and directors for them, and some of them are actually like already actors and directors and like just regular people who have already like staked their claim in the Hollywood scene. So when they had this come up, I thought it was just really good that they chose to do that. Number three, as above, so below. Now, this one was claustrophobic. That's right, I used a big word today because this movie, you're following people who just wander around the Paris catacombs, and it was just so like, ugh. That's all I could just say. I straight up gave you a whole word that I can't even spell because they're like crawling through these tight little areas where it's just so they can get onto the other side of a wall that's probably flooded or has like these disgusting cave spiders. But all I could say was it was pretty fun. Like they did some stuff that was kind of goofy and wacky. Like they brought up the Philosopher's Stone. And if my homies over there understand what that is, or have ever read anything of Harry Potter, Harry Potter took the Sorcerer's Stone, which means you're just the greatest wizard or whatever. But the Philosopher's Stone and real history or whatever claim it to be like, oh, we can make gold out of anything and we can have whatever we want if we use this stone, or like just like shave off some bits and just throw in some stuff. But it's just pretty cool because like they throw things in there and it's like it's a portal to hell basically. They crawl all the way down and they're stuck in hell, and the only way they can get back is if they grab the stone to flee themselves. And I won't spoil it. I think it's still on Netflix. I could be wrong, but it's a really fun movie. Number 4, Paranormal Activity. God, the marked ones. I can't tell you how bad this movie is. The only reason I put this here is because of the ending. And I know you guys don't care about the whole movie because it was so stupid, but they had cholos. That's right, cholos at the end come up and they started blasting off some guns at some witches and they were fighting and winning. And I just tell you, it is so stupid that I'm so glad they did something like that. Paranormal Activity 7 did not deserve, actually they didn't even need to make more than like 3 of them. They were all so bad. But Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, only here because of that scene. God, I could only recommend you watch it just for that. Like, skip to the last 20 minutes and you see these guys. They just come out of nowhere. I don't even remember who calls them, but I remember that just one single scene, and it was so stupid. It made me laugh and giggle. I loved it. Number 5, we're going on with Behind the Mask of Leslie Vernon. So, this movie is it was actually really fun. It was like this, it follows this one guy who romanticizes serial killers, so he tries to become a serial killer himself. So, this attracts the local college students who were trying to record this for their own thing. And let me tell you, wow. They have it. Have you guys seen Interview with a Vampire? Why am I asking you guys this? Here on my camera. Or I'm recording. This is like old footage from like a day ago. Or at least whenever this comes out. This is coming out Monday. Or not Monday. Halloween, which is Thursday. So this video I'm recording is from Monday. You guys, I'm not even talking to people. I'm talking to a computer screen right now. Irrelevant. But the movie Behind the Mask of Leslie Vernon, I recommend. It was really fun. It had a unique take on horror and serial killers. But that's what I've got for found footage. I could have included a lot more, but for some reason I just couldn't remember the ones I enjoyed the most. But we're just going to shove just a little bit more, and we're going to go on to the third segment. See you right now. Alright, thank you, Monday Me. Today it is Tuesday, the 29th. So, we're going to start it off with a nice little mention of monster movies. We're going to start it off with Silver Bullet, a Stephen King classic. And by classic, I mean it came out in like 2003 or something. And I happened to watch it quite a bit. But it was really fun. It's got this little kid who's in a wheelchair who's got that thing motorized, so he got them mileage on it. It's a fun movie. I really liked it. I remember watching it a few times on like car rides, thanks to downloading on HBO Max. But I recommend it. It's really fun. It's a werewolf movie. Um, I will say there is one guy there who is like really predatory. Not in like the he's hunting minors kind of predatory. But we're just gonna go on to the second one. We're gonna talk about The Descent. This one is also another predatory movie. Not the Drake kind of predatory. I'm talking this is the people who go down in a little unexplored cave and they just go and try to help their friend who's like trying to get over the grief of her friend losing like her entire family or whatever in like this horrible car accident. They even kill the child in that one, but they don't show it, but it is heavily implied. Um, it's a fun movie. It's got cannibal inbred people, but supposedly not looking people. It's a lot. I mean, it is very claustrophobic. There was two different versions of this movie. The first one they did release though, they did not. What's the word? Not a lot of people liked it because it was just super depressing. But sometimes the depressing one is really what the author really wanted. But they don't call it that because they made a second one where she escapes. But I think that's irrelevant. It's a fun movie though. I saw it on Tubi because I'm a cheap person, you know, a cheapskate. My wallet has flies coming out of it as we speak. And this one that I'm going to mention isn't more of like a monster movie. It is 9. I really love this movie. I still have no idea how this got like a PG rating. I remember watching it on Cartoon Network growing up, and it was just insane. Like, you guys might say, no, it's not a monster movie. They have robots and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. They have a guy get his soul ripped out and put into little sack creatures. And technically, they're a sin against God. Therefore, monsters. So, that's why I included 9 on this list. I think, this is a very big I think, it could be on either Prime, Tubi, maybe Plex. I don't, I don't know, guys. I have no idea where you can watch this. There's a reason this is honorable mentions. It's because I didn't get to watch them all. But there's just some movies that I was able to remember, you know, Brain Blast, like Jimmy Neutron. And I was able to say, I remember that movie. But we're going to go on to The Blob. This one was recommended to me by my uncle. This is the 1980s version. You know, the one where they straight up disintegrate a child. It is very insane. They melt the little man. Like, have you guys seen cheese in like a microwave and let it sit for like 10 seconds in there when it's on and it starts melting? You see the child like dissolve. It is insane. It's like a melting horror movie. But it was fun. You can actually watch this one on not Paramount, not Pluto. Frick, I just had the word. It was on Amazon Prime. That's the one I was thinking about. It's on Amazon, and it is also on why am I forgetting now? Of all things to forget, I have the script right in front of me, and it's like I'm forgetting how to read. Oh, that's right. It was on Prime, and it was on Plex. Those are the only 2 ways I could watch this without having to pay for it. And for you people saying, oh, you actually have to pay for Prime, I am leeching off of somebody, and they are fine with me doing it. So, we move on to our 5th one, Dead Space Downfall. This one, it was kind of hard to find because, you know, it actually came out with the Xbox 360 version of Dead Space. So, I asked my sister if she can lend me her digital copy of it through, I think it was Voodoo that they had on there. And she's like, bet. So she let me look through it, and I watched the movie. It was a movie. I will say that. It was really great animation. It kind of reminded me of the Dante's Inferno, except not as much nudity and stuff. But it was fun. I had fun watching it. I don't think they switched off different art styles when they did this one like they did with the Dante's Inferno. But it was super fun. It was a lot, very gory, just like the games. And still scary. I loved it. Next one. You guys are probably going to hate what I say. But number 6 is Halloween. I know he's not a monster. Well, he is kind of a monster. He doesn't die. Grows like 70 and has the strength of like Brock Lesnar. But, you know, I'm calling him a monster, and I have him on this list. And I knew you guys probably would not have ever seen this, just in general. But, it's something that was different, something you could have seen probably this month. So that's why I included Halloween, fun little movie. I would recommend the Rob Zombie one the most, even if you do like watching the 71 or the 70s one. That one was pretty good. And I also learned the original Halloween movies were supposed to be like an anthology of different like stories, but people really like the Michael Myers version the most. So that's why they made it just all about Michael Myers. And the anthology portion they tried doing that with was with the Halloween 3. I can't remember which one that one was, but it like came out after the second one from the original era of Halloween, and I thought that was cool. This one, we're moving on with number 7. My brother recommended this to me, so shout out to him. I'm gonna shout out a lot of people today and tomorrow because I have a lot of recommendations from people who were like, you should watch this and review it. So my brother, he's gonna get this shout out. Number 7 is Velocipaster. It's a movie. Somebody had a budget. I think they made back double the budget. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a stupid little monster movie where a priest just has the power to turn into a velociraptor and he fights crime. And the only reason I call this a horror movie is because he's a monster that terrorizes a city. And like, it's so stupid, but it's comedic. It knows that it's a trashy movie, so it treats itself as such. But I just like how it was kind of funny, and some of the kills are kind of goofy. But I mean, you can't really fight that at this point. Number 8, we're gonna go with 8-Legged Freaks. This movie was pretty dumb as well, but I really found it funny. Don't get me wrong, there's some things in there like really bad CGI, and there's also that one scene where a guy uses like MP3 file comic sounding punches, and he fights the spider. He tries to go like bare hand boxing with the spider, and it doesn't work because it's a friggin' spider the size of like a Toyota. Like, you can't get me going on about like that guy would have lost the fight. And then like when he gets tackled by said spider, it plays the sound like 5 times in a row to show that he's getting the mitts taken on him. But that's all I gotta say about this one. We are gonna go move on to tomorrow. Thank you, Tuesday Me, because we are now starting it off the 29th. I'm sorry, guys, the 30th. So, a day before Halloween. Yay! It's Wednesday! We're gonna start our category off with Alien Hordes. Not that other one. That one's too frisky for YouTube. We're gonna start it off with any of the Aliens movies. Now, what does that mean? I'm talking Aliens 1, 2, 3, maybe the Predator ones. Not that Predator one, but we're gonna go with just any Aliens movie. Like, I'm talking Aliens vs. Predator, Aliens Covenant does not deserve it. Prometheus can also go and bite a curb for all I care. Those 2 movies were so boring. I don't care if there was like, oh, it's chronologically important. I'm like, just because it's chronologically important doesn't mean I'm going to spend like 3 hours watching people walk around an empty planet and say, oh, there's a different xenomorph. Oh my god, they're going to kill us. I don't care. We are going to talk about the good alien movies. Except Aliens 3. That one felt like a cash grab. But we're going to move on to category 2, Critters. You guys probably might recognize one guy in there, and that one guy actually was one child, being Leonardo DiCaprio. That's right, this was one of those first few movies he acted in as a child. Critters is a movie where it's like these little Jim Henson puppet ball things like come down to Earth, and they terrorize this family working on a farm or whatever. But it's kind of goofy because they are still puppets, and don't get me wrong, puppets can be scary, but this just was goofy and alright. Because like they rapidly spread like HIV at a disco. I mean, it's just something to keep note of, I guess. Because like it's like a fun movie, I guess. I had a little stroke there. You're gonna notice that a few times. Deal with it, I guess. It just happens when I record. But Critters is fun. I'd recommend it. My mom actually made me watch this with her because it wasn't a scary movie. It came out like the 80s, I think. But we're going to go into category 3. We are going to Nope. That's right, Nope. The movie with Jordan Peele as the director. So, I chose to do this one because I actually remembered watching it with my sister at a movie theater, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Jordan Peele made movies. Even though I think I reviewed Get Out. No, I did not review Get Out, but it was going to be one that was on here. Sorry guys, I'm having another side conversation with myself, as if I'm a schizophrenic patient at a mental ward. But anyway, the reason why I said I chose Nope was because it's a fun little movie where like this two brother or like when a brother and a sister is like being terrorized by just a ghost, or not a ghost, an alien cloud, and like it kind of does some things, some wacky little things. And I also forgot to mention Steven Yeun is in this movie, and most of you guys might remember him from Beef, or at least that new show that came out, Beef, The Walking Dead. He's going to be in a new movie with Robert Pattinson. And speaking of Robert Pattinson, I did not review The Lighthouse. I will not review The Lighthouse, but it is an honorable mention. So there is some freaky scenes in there with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe doing some nasty things, but they get their little breadcrumbs later. So number 4, we're going to go with Color Out of Space. I chose this movie because it's an insane movie. It's like it's based off an H.P. Lovecraft, and that guy was already pretty crazy. Not to mention the thing he called his cat just because he thought it was funny. But he made this like horrible, grotesque story. It was called Color Out of Space of the same name, but like it was anything but tame, if you understand or catch my drift. There's this one scene where a lady and her son are being fused together in an attic, and it is disgusting. It's like a cheese pull gone wrong. But I'm just gonna let that simmer and hang out there like that too nasty, stringy cheese pull of those two people. And we're gonna move on to number 5, Mars Attacks. So, I'm just gonna say, it's a movie. It was bad. I know people who like this movie, and I think there's something wrong with them. The only cool thing about this movie was Jack Black gets to show up and then die within like 15 minutes. And it was a funny way he dies, because you think he's gonna be a hero. Well, I mean, he tries to be a hero, but is immediately like dissolved. Or like he is vaporized, or not vaporized, he like turns into a pile of dust and dies. It's stupid, but I thought it was kind of funny. Number 6, we're gonna go Cloverfield. Now, I could have put this in with found footage, but this one is an alien movie. Or actually, you know what? I'll bunch those up two together. They're gonna have their own set or like together thing, because Cloverfield was fun until they did 10 Cloverfield Lane. That one was kind of dumb. But this one was really fun because you just watch this like 3 people running around New York City as it's like being destroyed, and you try everything and like your power to like survive this horrible attack. But it's I don't know. The idea of it was alright. I thought it was pretty cool with the concept and stuff, but I think it did not deserve a second one. I will definitely say that. Now we're going to go on to 7. As I previously mentioned, we're going to talk about Predator. So the reason why I recommend Predator is it's a fun little classic American movie. You know, the kind of film you watch with your family on like a casual Friday, Saturday, just any time you want. You can watch it day or night. It's just a really good thing to watch around. I mean, I had fun watching it. It's just one of those dude bro movies you'd watch at like a Halloween. But I wouldn't say it's the epitome of like terror. It's just a fun little alien movie that I think some people should, I don't know, enjoy. But that's going to be the end for the alien category. We are going to move on to religious horrors next. Catch you later in a bit. I'm recording this tomorrow, so that should be... Sorry guys, I'm checking my notes really quick because I'm very, very slow. That should be Thursday. Okay, so thanks for hearing this one out. Try and stick around for the same... Okay guys, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. it's going to sound like rambling because I'm recording these on separate days because I hate myself, I guess. But these are all going to be released on Thursday as a singular entity. So we're just going to scoot you over right now. Thank you, Wednesday ICG, because we're going to be talking about religious horror today. The first one we are going to be talking about is Midsommar. Now, you guys might be a bit upset with what I say, but Midsommar was not my favorite. I wouldn't say it was a bad movie, but I wouldn't say it was the greatest, most amazing movie with existential horror. No, it was not that. It was a movie that I thought was fun and it was fine. But it was a slow burn, like a really slow burn. It kind of felt like Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight, because, or at least the extended one, I mean, because that one, it took some, or at least it took a long time to build up to like the point of just establishing everybody, establishing the character stuff. It was just a movie, you know, it was fun, it was interesting, it kept me hooked the entire time, but it was very slow. Number 3, we're gonna go with Rosemary's Baby. This one came out in the 60s, so it's an oldie. So I want you guys to understand, just because it is old doesn't mean it is bad. So what I mean by that is we're gonna go talk about things that are like, this one lady's pregnant and then she gives birth and her neighbors suddenly take an interest in her because her baby, I think they said had like some potential to be like the Antichrist or whatever. But it was a fun little movie. I won't spoil it any more than that because I think it does deserve to be mentioned. But it's a fun little thing. Now we're going to move on to number 3, The Wicker Man. No, God, no, not that Wicker Man. We're going to go to the good one. Nicolas Cage can sit back for that one. We're going to be talking about The Wicker Man from 1973. This one I really liked. It was super fun. It wasn't overacting, I mean. It established some great, like the whole town was, like, paid off or whatever. But that's because they have this horrible, like, pagan cult-like religion thing. And they have this, like, effigy built where they have the guy who's, like, looking into this girl who went missing a while ago. And, like, after the guy who, like, tries to find her and stuff is, like, captured by these people, they put him in this effigy thing. And they burn him alive, and it is insane. But that's what I gotta say about category 4. We're gonna go on to number 5. This one is Mandy, and oh my god, do not do anything that is illicit substances or just drinking. You will have a horrible time watching this movie if you do that. And if you are very photosensitive, do not watch this movie. You will have a seizure and possibly die. But the movie I am talking about is Mandy. That's right, Nicolas Cage. You can come back and sit with us for this one. It is... Whoa! That is a crazy movie. It is super insane, and it's full of things I'm not allowed to say on YouTube because I will get a channel strike or possibly stabbed in the throat. But this is a fun little movie, and it is just... I wouldn't say it's schlocky, but it's very artistic. Like, there is this one scene where, like, every time Nicolas Cage dreams, it turns to an animation, and I think that was pretty cool. But you do see some nudity in that one, so don't watch with your parents, because there's also this one scene where this guy's got like this little knife attached to his schlong. So be careful with that one. It's kind of gross with what it implies that he did with said meat saber, I guess. But it's a movie. And that should be the end of my listing. Oh wait, I lied. So, instead of me saying different things for different days, we're going to go with our last honorable mention. That's right, guys, we're reading ahead because I thought we were done, but we're not. So, our last category is lighthearted fun. So, we're going to move this into a later day because I'm tired. I'm an old man. My brain is fried and juiced up. Just not for today. So, we'll wait 5 more seconds. See you when I attach this. Okay, you beautiful person called ICG. We are back at least 4 hours later in the day where I have to talk about our very last and final category. Lighthearted fun.
Hat mir einfach erlaubt, dass ich Cola trinken darf. Wie cool ist das bitte? Jetzt zocke ich Fortnite und trinke Cola. Yippie!
Where we started off with scary movie. Doesn't actually it does matter which one, because anything after 3 is not good. I don't care who's in it, they just get worse and worse. Like it goes from just potty humor, I guess, to just like stoner bro comedy. Like it's not even that fun after that. Even though they get like Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg, it feels like they were just, they just happened to be on set one day and like, would you like to make a quick $50? And don't get me wrong, they have their moments where they're funny. I'm probably gonna not include any clips because it's Warner Bros. And Warner Bros. Really rides me really hard when it comes to using their stuff, even with crediting them. So Scary Movie 4 is one of them, I guess. That's one. I think they're the one that did the Mitsubishi Suzuki Kid meme. Number 2, Ernest Scared Stupid. I remember growing up with this movie. I want to say, I think the ending made me cry when they have the little dog turn into wood and you think he's just gonna stay like that forever. But then they bring him back because it's really sad and they like tugging at your heart. And I don't care if it's a children's movie. It came out in the 90s, so that pretty much means it was like rated R for today's society, I guess. But it was such a good little movie. I remember it, and like the troll effects or whatever, because it was like puppets, but it still looked super good. And like they had it oozing and disgustingly looking, and it was just such a great creature design. I honestly could have put this in the monster movie section, but it still was just a little fun, lighthearted comedy that I think you would enjoy watching in the morning with like your family or your children. That is if you have children watching this, by the way. We're gonna start kicking ourselves in the head when we watch this because we're gonna be watching Sharknado. Yeah, oof, we're stooping down low today. I mean it when we say Sharknado. So the only reason why I chose to say this one was because, like, I know you've seen the first one. We've all seen it. We've turned into sci-fi back when that was a channel on TV. And I remember watching it. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then they made 4 more. And then they made a VR game for the PlayStation. They ran that thing so hard. It was like watching a horse get beat to death with a pinata. Like, not even with a stick. Like, they grabbed the pinata from, like, Party City and started wailing on it. Like, it was just such a piece of trash. I'm like, okay, why are they in space? How did sharks make it anywhere near space? It was just so stupid. Now we're gonna go on to Sharknado for number 3. Or not Sharknado. My bad, guys. A Haunted House. That's right. Another comedy, scary movie-esque film. So if you guys know who Marlon Wayans is, he's a comedian who I think did also Scary Movie. But a haunted house. Lord, why is that so hard to say? A Haunted House is kind of like, it came out in 2010s-ish era for movies. So it kind of like already kicked Scary Movie to the curb when they ran it super hard. And I don't think he was like anywhere associated with it. Like towards the end of that kind of pipeline of movie. But this one was really funny. They even had a second one which had Gabriel Iglesias, which I thought was really funny. I will put that on here as my honorable mention. Haunted House 1 and 2. So for the 5th and final movie, Maximum Overdrive. So why did I call this lighthearted fun? It was an excuse for Stephen King to blow up like $36 million worth of like trucks. And I'm not even joking. He spent so much money buying these trucks just to blow them all up. And I do not blame him. He was given like 15 semi-trucks and he was like, let's blow this up. And then he got even more cars as his budget just slightly increased. It was just so funny and stupid. Like, the whole premise of the movie was a meteor, like, I think it was a meteor goes past Earth, but it makes, like, every technology sentient and want to kill all of humanity. And it was just so stupid. I'm like, there's a reason this is free. and I think I found it. But I guess that's it, guys. So for me, this is going to be an 11-ish hours of editing. But for you guys, this should come out to be 30 to 40 minutes. I probably might include chapters for this so I don't know, have to put timestamps in the description or comment section or whatever so you just can see them all. But if you enjoyed this, good for you, I guess. But as always, I hope you enjoyed. Bye.